Hi everybody, in this video I want to talk about some of the subtle yet powerful new updates that we see on QuickBooks Online, particularly in the bank rules section. Now I'm going to go into this website, which is intuit.canny.io/changelog. Basically you go to intuit.canny.io, you click on changelog, and you'll be able to see all the published new changes. Now there's a really interesting new change on improved bank feed from to suggestions, which I'll talk about in a different video. I'm actually going to go down to this one that says more control over rules, set priority filter, and see what's broken. I'm going to walk you through what that is. Now, prior to doing that, I'm going to go through the rules really quick so we get a keen understanding of what's in the rules screen. So when I'm in QuickBooks, I'm going to go into bank transactions. And when I see any transaction that has been downloaded through bank feed, I can grab it and say, you know what, I want this transaction to always be categorized as one specific thing. I'm going to go into the drop-down menu and click on where it says create rule. So that's path number one. The second path will be to actually clicking on the transaction, expanding that transaction, scrolling down, and then seeing a button down here that says create rule. These are the two ways to reach what's called contextual rules, which is the rule is created from the data that you're seeing on the screen. So again, whichever path you choose, we go to create rule, and then we see the little cursor open on the right hand side. Now in here, that's where you save the more specifics of the rule. So obviously right now it's grabbing American Express from the bank rule. So even though all these texts came in, so we had all these texts came in, QuickBooks is smart enough to suggest, you know what, let's just make this rule, if it has American Express, let's make it detect that transaction automatically. So generally what I do is I'll copy this and paste this into the bank rule name, because you do have to give the bank rule a name. It doesn't create a name automatically. You get to choose which bank account the rule applies to. It could be all bank accounts or only one specific account. So that's really up to you. Then you get to choose down here whether you want to add multiple conditions. So we can say if the dollar amount is below a certain amount or above a certain amount, make the rule work one way or the other. Down here, there's a button that says test rule. When you click on that, it will actually tell you whether or not there's more transactions across the bank accounts that we chose here that rule would apply to. Very useful to see if the rule is working. Automatically, the rule is created last in line, but you can override it and just put a 1 and just make it first in line. You can click on preview and then you can see the order of the rules. We'll go back to talk about rule ordering in a second, just because that's a little bit more complex. Then down here, it automatically creates it as an expense, which is the transaction type that we looked at. It gives it a category. You give it whatever category you want. You give it a vendor name. So if you have the American Express vendor in the system, if you don't, you can create it on the fly. And then down here, you always have to delete the stuff that's in here. For some reason, QuickBooks always inserts the data from the transaction that is mimicking into the rule. That's never a good idea, because you want each transaction to be applied with its original memo. Now, if you want to add some text to that, you can click on this little checkbox, and then you can click on add it by rules and then sign it or something like that, whatever you want. And then basically what happens is you're going to see that every single transaction that gets automatically added by the rule, it adds that additional text at the end. Now I like to put a little hashtag on that just so it's visibly easier to see. You'll see. And then so after you set all the parameters and you say this is exactly what I want the transaction to be categorized as, you basically choose whether you want to auto post or not. Auto post is set up by default. I'm going to turn that off and click on save. So after I create the rule, now the rule is explicitly set. When I see those transactions by Amex, I'm just going to close this. We're going to notice that all these transactions, because they contain the word American Express in the text, they're automatically categorized by the rule. Now, whether this is the right category or not, different story. We're kind of focusing on how the rule behaves at the moment. Now, I didn't say to automatically add the rule. I said to just apply the rule. The rule is applied. I still have to click on post, 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 one at a time to accept them. I could click on all of them in one shot if I have it already grouped That's a setting here that I have to turn on if I want to group them and sort them by a particular logical grouping. And in this case, the grouping was full bank description. So yeah, that's one approach to doing that. Let's say they're not all sitting together pretty, but there's multiple transactions that are being applied by rules. You can click on the drop-down menu here, and then you can click on rules, and then explicitly just see the transactions in which rules are applied. Now, I could get rid of the grouping if I don't want to see that grouping, and I just want to see the transactions as a straight table. I can do that too. That's obviously an option. Now we see two sets of transactions that are automatically classified by rules. These were rules that were already pre-created. Now, if I click on any of these, and I get to see, I see this rule up here, I can actually go down here and click on Edit Rule. And if I click on Edit Rule, it knows that it's being used by a particular rule and allows you to edit the active rule that this transaction is affecting, which is super interesting. Now you can override the rule and choose your own category if the rule wasn't good enough. And if I don't save and I refresh the screen, so I'll just show you how I'll do this really quick. I'll refresh this. It should go back to the rule being applied because I could have just temporarily changed that category if I was going to post it before I refresh the screen. Now I can select all these and click on post, and basically all my transactions have been applied by the rule. Now I'm going to go back here and choose all transactions again, and then I'll create a rule separately and then have it apply. So for example, we have these transactions that are saying Apple Store that are not being categorized by the rule. Why is that? Because there's no rule involved. And if there's no rule involved, but QuickBooks is suggesting things to the AI, you will see that little icon there letting you know why it is suggesting that. So if I click on the little icon, it tells you, look, it seems like this is a straightforward Apple vendor. You know, the AI is telling me this is most likely what it is. And then if I click on the category itself, it's going to tell me, look, it looks like based on previous transactions, you have already used this category more times. So you're able to see that and kind of see the history of the transactions that were done in the past, which is explaining why itself is suggesting. So this is not using a rule. This is essentially using past history. Now I could override this by a rule. So for example, I can create a rule for Apple Store. So I can go to the drop-down menu, go to create rule, and then Apple, and then I can call this Apple Store or whatever I want to call it. And then down here, I can say, look, I don't want you to use this category. I want you to use, let's say, materials or whatever it is, right? Or office supplies or whatever you want to use. Okay, then I'm going to always remove this replace bank memo. That's a little bug that QuickBooks has that just keeps doing that. Just don't think that's a really good idea to have that. So always delete that. And then I click on auto post. And then I'm going to click here and I'm going to type a little note here that says auto added by rules. Now you don't have to add that additional memo. That's me. That's just me. That's my own little weird quirky thing wanting to do that just so they're easy to identify in reports. So when I click on save, you're going to notice that those 3 Apple Store transactions are going to go away immediately because they were automatically applied by the rule. So you don't even get to see them because they were an auto add. If I click on post it, I can actually see all the transactions that I posted across all my banking. And then through here, there's different filters I can have. I can do category filters, pay filters, transaction type filters. Here in this drop-down menu, I can choose whether or not it was auto-posted. So if I click auto-post it all, I'm going to see only the ones that have rules associated with it. If there's some AI involved, that AI will still kind of kick in, kind of letting me know if there's some other thing that it suggests you could do there. But they're tagged by a rule. Now, these are also tagged by auto, just letting you know that these were automatically created. They weren't done manually. So that's another kind of way for you to know whether this was automatically added. And of course, I can click on the link itself and open the transaction if I want to inspect the specific transaction. Remember when I clicked on, I added a little text. See that? That kind of lets me know that this has been automatically added by the rule. So I'll X out of that and then go back into my banking. I'm going to go back into pending and we're going to look at another set of transactions. Let's say, for example, this AT&T here, that it is being automatically categorized by AI, but I want it to be done by the rule. So I'm actually going to exit the screen. I go into the rules screen here under accounting, go into rules, which is a different screen altogether. And this shows me all the rules that have been created. They are grouped by right here, or they're labeled by rule name. We have our priority, right? We can sort it by any of these. We can change the priority by literally clicking and dragging it across the board. And by changing the priority, you automatically change the priority if there's any conflicts of the rules. You can also filter by only showing active rules, so rules that will work. Let's look at disabled rules. So if I have deleted one or disabled one, which by the way, you do that by clicking here, clicking on disable. If there's any rules that have problems, you click on invalid rules. So this one may have a category that no longer exists, or a vendor payee that no longer exists, or a class or location or customer job. So anything that contains a drop-down menu, so to speak, and that entity or that value doesn't exist anymore, it will say, hey, this rule doesn't work because it's invalid. So you're able to edit that and fix that or whatever you want. So that's all from this screen. They have added these filters here that make it super powerful. You can also click on this little gear button here, and you can change the order of some of these things. So for example, if I want the settings to be to come up here, or I want the status to come up here, I could change basically the order in which I want to see this. I can also turn off some of these columns if I want this to be a lot cleaner when it comes to managing my rules. So really up to you in terms of how you want to see them in the order and what columns you want to see. You can also batch. So if I can select a couple of rules here, click on batch actions, I can batch delete them, batch disable them, batch enable them if they happen to be disabled. I can turn off auto post or turn on auto post. So if I'm really comfortable, I can just select all these and make them all auto post, okay, with the exception of the invalid rule, of course. Or I can go back and go, you know what, I don't want anything to auto post, make everything off auto post. So you can, in one fell swoop, choose the posting style, if it's auto posted or if it's just queued up for you to post. So that's it. Just the rules are super awesome, super advanced. They've done a really, really good job with this. I think it was an AT&T one that we wanted to like do it through here and then kind of see what it looks like on the banking screen. So I'll click on new rule. I'll type here AT&T. I'll type here AT&T. And we may have to go back and revisit this text and look at this text with a fine-tooth comb there to just make sure it's right. Category, I'm going to put here telephone if that category exists. Beautiful. Payee, we'll type here AT&T. Let's say we want to also select a particular class and a particular location to automatically make our AT&T. I want to turn off auto posting. Again, not a huge fan of auto posting. And I'll keep the memo blank in this particular case. This is 7th on my priority, but of course I can just do 1 and make it number 1. Click on preview and see what it looks like. Basically, it's where it sits in this list. If I click on test rule, I can see if it applies. It looks like it does apply to 12 transactions. So this rule seems like it's going to work. I'm going to go ahead and click on save. And then when I go back into my rule screen, I should see my AT&T rule here. It's number 1 because I told it to make it number 1 of that priority. Of course, I can click and drag and move it if I want something else to have higher priority, especially if it has conflicting concepts. Then I want to go back into my bank transactions and I should be able to see my AT&T transactions all being categorized by the rule. Now notice how there's AT&T bill payment and AT&T mobility. So that could be a great example of rules that can have conflicts, right? So I can have a rule that says, if it says AT&T mobility, make it one thing. But if it says any AT&T, make it something else. But then I want mobility to have a higher priority than the regular AT&T because it has more words. So it's kind of an example of how rules work, how the conflicting rules will work in that sense. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you get started with rules and get so much faster and more efficient working with bank feeds in QuickBooks Online. Thank you. See you in the next one.